Hi, welcome back to my channel, Stitch in Style by me, Nadia. Today I'm going to be updating you on what I've been up to and what I've got planned in the coming weeks. Firstly, let me share what I'm wearing. I'm just wearing a ready-to-wear cardigan and the Agnes top by Tilly and the Buttons that I made in this fabric from Art Gallery Fabrics. And I made this during the sewing weekender. So that's what I'm wearing, and I'm just wearing it with some light jeans. The first thing I want to share with you is something that I've made recently, and you can see it hanging here. If you watched my last video, you'll know I did a bit of a fabric haul, and one of the fabrics that I got was a purple linen, well, it's either linen or linen look cotton, that I got from Abercorn Fabrics. So I was showing the fabrics, and one of my lovely viewers, Colleen, said in the comments that the fabric looked really nice against my face, so how about I do either a top or a jacket with it. Now, I'd thought about doing some trousers, but having got Colleen's comment, I thought, oh, do you know what, that is a good idea, because I had the heather blazer pattern on my Make 9 and I'd not attempted it until now, and it also coincides with the challenge that Michelle Sews Again is running, which is Sew Purple to End LAZ 2022. And all of those things kind of came together, and I thought, yes, now is the time to sew something purple, to participate in the challenge and raise awareness of Alzheimer's and dementia, and also to tick another one off my Make 9. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the pattern, but first, just on the challenge, I will link Michelle's video below. Yeah, I watched Michelle's video and I really appreciated her sharing her personal story. I, like many other people, have had experience of Alzheimer's and dementia in my own family, and I think it's a really important cause. I'm sure you're already aware of it because Michelle is doing a lot of collaborations over the next month. I'd encourage everybody to get involved if they can, even if it's just to raise awareness. Yes, the heather blazer pattern. Now, I was a little bit intimidated by the thought of making a lined jacket. I have made the Pona jacket before by Helen's Closet, but that isn't lined. So I was a little bit nervous about it, but really nothing to worry about. And I really enjoyed making this jacket. Now, that's not to say it was all smooth sailing, because it wasn't. So the Friday Pattern Company describe it as an unstructured modern blazer with an oversized fit and suitable for all seasons, and designed to be approachable for the beginner sewist. So in terms of sizing, it goes from an XS to a 7X, and that's from bust 32 to bust 60, hip 34 to a 63. In terms of my own sizing, I fell into mainly the size large, which is a 38 to a 39 inch bust. Now, my bust is a 37, so that's 1 inch smaller than the bust on the pattern, but my upper bust is a 36, and that matches the size large because it's drafted for a B/C cup, which would mean if it was a 38 to 39, that's B/C, that's 2 and 3 inches bigger than the upper bust measurement, which is 36, which matches my upper bust measurement. If that all makes sense. In terms of waist, it's 30 to 32. Now, I can be 29 to 30, depending, so I'm slightly on the smaller end, of the waist measurement, and the hip measurement is a 39 to 41 and I'm a 42, so I fall slightly larger on my hip. And it's drafted for somebody who I think is 5'7" and I'm 5'8.5". Now I decided, because it was my first go at this pattern, is to make just a straight size large. So I didn't make any adjustments to the pattern, I didn't lengthen it, I just made it straight out of the packet a size large. Now I am happy with the fit of the jacket, but it is slightly more oversized I think than ideally I would want it. So I might blend sizes if I make it again, which I do plan to. And I think I would only blend sizes just around the waist. Now let me put it on and show how it fits. So here's the jacket on, and it's got just one button, and you can see that it's quite roomy around my waist, and I have got enough room at the hip, which is good, and I think on the shoulder it sits probably just about right, and I think it fits well across my back to here. I don't really think I should go down to the medium on the arms or across the shoulders. I think that's the right size. I think it's just a little bit maybe roomy just around here, just around my waist. And it's got two big pockets on the front and a lapel. Now that's the length on the arm for me, so it kind of like reaches just maybe halfway down my watch strap, which I think is fine for me. Other people might like it a little bit longer, but I wouldn't change the arm length for me. And it has got enough room so you can roll up, if you wanted to, the sleeves on the jacket like this, which I think is a nice look actually. Now the only thing is that I do have a little bit of gathering there, which I don't think you are supposed to have. I'll just sit down again now. So I don't actually think you're supposed to have this kind of gathering look here, but I do have it. And it's not that there are any tucks in the fabric, because I really tried hard to make sure there were no tucks, but maybe I didn't space out my gathers so as far as I should have done. Maybe that was the issue. The fabric that I used to line it is just a black fabric, and this is from First for Fabrics, the lining. It's a viscose and acetate mix, and I really like this material actually as a lining material. It's really soft and slippy, so you can slip your arms in and out of the jacket really easily. It's nice and lightweight, and I think acetate and viscose are both breathable fabrics, so it's not going to be all sweaty, hopefully. It was actually fairly easy to sew. The only tricky bit I found was trying to close the lining down the centre back seam. I found that a little bit tricky, and what I ended up doing was just pinking the edges and sewing them together. I tried to hand stitch it, but I just really couldn't get a neat finish. So yeah, it doesn't look the neatest on the inside. And another reason why it doesn't look the neatest on the inside is because when I originally put the pockets on, and I didn't realise until I'd finished kind of the jacket, is I'd put the pockets on a little bit too low. Now I thought I'd put them on higher than it said in the pattern, because when I was placing it on I thought this looks a little bit low, so I'll just move it up. But I don't know, I mustn't have been looking at the right marks that I'd made on the jacket to show where the corner pockets are supposed to be, because after I'd finished the jacket, the pockets were low, and then I could see where I'd made the mark for where they should be. So I thought, should I leave it? I mean, there was just the tiniest little bit, I think it was like 1/2 centimetre above the hemline. That's where my pockets were sitting, and I said, should I leave it? And I asked my husband what he thought, and he said maybe he would move them up because he'd noticed that they were quite low, the pockets. So I removed the pockets, and I undid the gap in the lining at the back, and then tried to turn it so I could put the pockets on without sewing down the lining. But no matter how I tried to move it around, I just couldn't get it so I could lay the pocket on nice and flat and sew it down. So in the end, what I decided to do was I sewed back up the lining, and then I just sewed through all of the layers of the fabric just to put the pocket back on. They are higher than they were. I've got a little bit more clearance here. But yes, you will see here that you can see the stitching, and it goes through to the lining. So that's not the neatest finish on the inside, but I thought it's better for it to look right on the outside than to be neat on the inside. I did wear this jacket because we went to the lakes for a couple of nights last week, and I was trying to finish the jacket before we went away, and I managed it, but this was before I'd moved the pockets and before I'd added the button and buttonhole. But I'll insert the pictures of what I wore when I went out. As you'll see, I paired it with the Shelby dress that I made and shared a couple of weeks ago, and with some black tights and some Doc Martin boots, and I really enjoyed wearing that outfit. I felt really nice in it actually. And this jacket wouldn't have come about unless Colleen had made the suggestion in the comments, so big thanks to her. That's the main thing that I've got done in the past couple of weeks. Now I also have made a stripy t-shirt, but it didn't go entirely to plan, so I will show it to you now. Now I made this t-shirt. This is the Plantain tee by Deer and Doe, and I made it, well, it was supposed to be the 3/4 length sleeves, but I did them a little bit shorter. The main mistake that I made with this t-shirt was at the cutting out stage, and once I'd made the mistake at the cutting out stage, I really couldn't rectify it. I cut the pattern pieces out, and they were slightly off grain. So if you see here, it does not go straight across. There is a slight, and I don't know which side it is, but one side is lower than the other. And then I didn't even learn from that, because when I cut out the sleeves, it was even worse. I really struggle to do it on grain when it's on a jersey fabric. I don't know if anybody else finds this, and I don't think it matters so much with fabrics that don't have this pattern, but this stripe is quite small, so I think if it was bigger I would have been able to cut out the pattern much neater, but with the little stripe it was really difficult to do. So I made the t-shirt up and I put in the neckband, and I wasn't happy with how the neckband met the fabric here. It just didn't look right. So what I decided to do was cut the neckband off and redo the neckband, but then I forgot to increase my neckband piece. So this one that I've put on, and I hardly had any of the material left because I only had 1 metre of this fabric. So when I inserted this neckband, it's really too small, and it was like it's pulling slightly on here, and it does look slightly better than it did, but I'm just still not very happy with how this neckband looks. And I also, because of the way I'd cut out the t-shirt sleeves, it didn't look right at all, and I shortened them to try and improve it, and I think that has actually improved it, but I'm still not 100% happy with this top, and it's so disappointing. I actually thought, should I share this or should I just forget it ever happened? Now, I have actually worn this t-shirt a couple of times since I've made it, and I've worn it outside. So it's not one of those makes that I'm never going to see the light of day, but I'm still not really 100% happy with it. And I think I'm just going to have to put it down as a learning experience, and just to really pay a lot more attention at the cutting out stage, because I think I could have avoided all of the problems that I'd had if I'd spent that additional time at the cutting out stage to make sure that I'd got the pieces on grain. Now, what I was planning to do was, when I had the idea for the jacket, I'm also planning on making a jumpsuit in the coming weeks as part of another challenge, and I'll give you more details on that. I don't know if it's been shared more widely at this stage, but I was thinking about doing a capsule type project. So I've got the purple jacket. I thought I'm going to do a black jumpsuit and this stripy top. Now, this stripy top didn't work out exactly how I wanted it to, but I have got a different black and white striped fabric ready and waiting for me to turn into a top. So I think I am going to have this like capsule idea and maybe take that forward into autumn winter, where I have a few pieces that I can mix and match together. I did also, a few weeks ago, when it was really, really warm, probably a few months ago now actually, and I don't know if you remember, I shared about this saltwater slip dress, and I cut a little snip into the fabric here which I mended, and I made the long version, but I didn't feel very confident about wearing it out and about, and then we had some really warm weather and I didn't really have anything. I don't really have many shorts, or at the time I didn't actually have any shorts or anything really lightweight and floaty to wear, and I wanted to do some sunbathing in the garden, and I decided, because this is quite strappy at the top, I thought I would go out, I'd spend some time in the garden and wear my saltwater slip dress, but I didn't want my legs to be covered. I wanted to try and get a little bit of sun on my legs. So I decided to cut this down to the short version, just above the split. And yeah, that was really successful actually, a little alteration, and it meant that I actually wore it. Yeah, it was just around the garden, but please, that's got somewhere this summer. Now, the other thing that I've made and done a little alteration to was the dress that I'd made, the sawtail dress. I was so happy with the dress, and I spent ages cutting it out. I spent ages on the process. I twirled the dress. Some of the techniques in the making the dress were quite tricky, and I was really pleased with the end result, but I wasn't actually reaching for the dress all that much. I do think it's more of a layering piece, and because it's dark, I don't think it's that suitable for summer. But I'd not been wearing it, and then a few times I thought, should I wear it? And then I thought, no, I don't really fancy wearing it. And then, so I thought a little bit more about why that was. And I think it was just the length of the dress was just a little bit too long. So I decided to take I think I took about 10 centimetres off the hem and just shortened it a little bit. I have actually worn the dress a few times, including to work, since I shortened it. I'm really happy with how that turned out. In terms of plans for the coming weeks, now, I wasn't sure whether I was going to mention this, but I have actually got a ticket to the dressmaker's ball. I was watching Adele and her channel is Sofa Serenity, and she shared her plans for making a beautiful dress for the dressmaker's ball, and she said, oh, there's some tickets left, and even if you're planning on going on your own, you should sign up, etc. So yeah, I thought I would really like to go to the ball, and I've booked my ticket, and so I'm very excited about going to the ball. Now, I've got some ideas about what I want to make, and I want to try and make a dress, but time is really ticking because it's on the 1st of October. I'm recording this on the 15th of September, so I've only got about 2 weeks to make the dress, and I'm also doing another triathlon next weekend, and so that'll be spent just doing the triathlon. So I'm probably not going to have much time for sewing in between now and the ball. I've had some ideas about the pattern I'm going to use, and I've actually ordered a pattern. It's come today, so that's good that I've got that before the weekend, because this week and I will get some time for sewing. So I've ordered some fabric, and hopefully that's going to arrive either tomorrow or Saturday. We're going to have to see. Everything's going to be tight. So I'm not going to share too many more details about what I've got planned for my dress in case I change my mind or I don't get it done or whatever. I'm going to have to think of some backup options if I don't get it finished. But hopefully I'll be sharing my progress on that soon. I really can't at the moment commit to posting a video every week, even though I would really like to. So it will just have to be as and when I get the opportunity. So thanks very much for bearing with me and for your patience. Triathlon season is going to be coming to an end, so this will be my last one of the year, and then hopefully I will be able to spend a little bit more time in my sewing room. But thanks to everybody for all your support, your kind comments to me. They honestly mean the world to me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.